Hello everyone, I'm Jack Ross, the driver of Smokey Holzhacksler. I just finished fighting Slappy. I took a lot of damage in that fight. If you haven't seen the fight, go watch it please. I'll wait. Oh, you're done watching? Okay. So, Slappy is a very high kinetic energy robot. I'm also a very high kinetic energy robot, so I was pretty nervous going into this fight. I knew I was going to take a beating. And, well, I did. My weapon is destroyed and my power converter is destroyed. And I have to fix those. So, in this damage report, I'm going to go over what happened. There's also a couple other things that were broken, and I'll go over those too. Alright, let's get into it.
Let's start with the regulator. This is a regulator. It's actually a 6-volt regulator with a series diode to make roughly 5 volts. As you can see, there's only one wire coming off of it. That's because all the others have been ripped off. This is the receiving end that takes in the 5 volts. And this is ground to the world. This is normally soldered onto the metal case. As you can see there's a space where the pin used to be. It's somewhere in that solder glob. But yeah, it's not there anymore because in one hit, Slappy actually walked up the robot and just chewed away at everything, including this thing I call the threshold, or Slappy. It's a Slappy stopper basically. I had this there to try and interrupt the weapon. So when it was hitting, I just tried to stop it from spinning, kind of, to temporarily interrupt it, and then I could turn with the weapon. I'll get to the weapon in a minute. There's quite a bit that happened with that too. But that plan failed. In one hit, he went up, this went flying, and he chewed up the regulator, took this off, took that off, and just disconnected everything. As soon as I saw that, I immediately surrendered, and I was counted out. So that's how that happened. You can probably hear in the background me saying, I'm done, it's over. Because as soon as I saw that happen, I knew immediately I was done. There's 4 major hits. That was the last one. Let's talk about the third hit that took out my weapon. As you can see, there is a chunk out of it, and that's because this whole thing got beat up pretty bad. There was a crack all the way there. I actually just pulled this out of there, but there was a crack that spread all the way down there, and that's because of one of the impacts. My theory was that weapon-on-weapon impact, which sent me flying up into the air, was actually a weapon-on-weapon impact. That I know for sure, because there's actually a big gash on Slappy's arm. It's red. There's a big red deep gash on Slappy's spinner. But what happened here, and you can see the weapon motor has a lot of play there. The impact jerked the motor probably in this direction, and that stress was enough to crack it and basically take that out. So that's garbage. And you probably saw the whole weapon was bent, and that is because those hits were enough to strip this screw here. Let me just take that out. This normally started out with a pretty long screw, but I cut it down and rounded off the edge, so it's basically just a bolt. But I screwed it in there, and it didn't go in very far, but those impacts were enough to shred the threads out of that thin MDF, and that's why the weapon was bent. At some point also, the receiver cable came out, so even if the regulator still worked, the receiver was unplugged, so that wouldn't work. I actually, I had this originally glued there, that's why there's a big blotch there. So I had it temporarily taped back there with electrical tape. It was really weak connection. I knew it was a bad idea, and I ended up paying for it because this ended up lodged with the weapon, and the weapon was stalled. So this PTC opened it. I have protection on there to make sure it's not like that for too long. But yeah, that's ultimately what died in the robot. In all honesty, it was a really good fight. I enjoyed it. This is all repairable, of course. In about a day, I'll have this all up and ready, and I'll look for next opponent to fight. Maybe even Slappy again, or possibly Old Boxy, someone I want to fight as well. I gotta make a new weapon mount. I gotta find a way to strap this weapon mount down. So I'm gonna make a new one of these. This fin. This thing's garbage. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Probably just throw it out or put it in scraps. But yeah, that was me and Slappy. I hope you enjoyed. Take care.